Home. And yet nothing is as I remember. Objects once familiar and comforting now fill me with uncertainty and dread. What has happened here?
Welcome back, everyone. So today we are going to find out exactly what has happened here. Yesterday the prince deduced this would be a result of an invasion. So all we need to do today is find out who actually started the invasion and hopefully put an end to it. And over here, this is kind of like a tricky sneak section, because the guy that's on the screen right now, if you try to sneak past him right now, then he's going to detect you. So you need to wait for the archer on the other side to turn around before you actually move. If you move on that first cycle, then he will always detect you. And I think the one further away, he doesn't move. So all we need to do is get into position, drop down and assassinate this guy. And then just gently take him out, like this. And I think these like dagger holes, these things are new, and then so are these springboards. And those like holes in the wall, you just climb up to them and then use your primary weapon, and the prince will jab the dagger into those like keyhole thingies to keep himself on the wall basically. And then these springboards, you just run towards it and then hit your jump button. So over here, wall run, attack, and then drop down. Kind of cool how we are 3 games in and they are still introducing new mechanics to the parkour. Is there another guy? Yep, there he is. And I think this guy will detect us if we climb on top of this balcony right here. Okay, he doesn't. And then over here we are going to use that archer over there as a landing. So instead of running towards the springboard and then hitting the jump button, we actually want to hit the assassinate button instead. And that will basically land us onto the archer, and then quickly transition ourselves automatically into
I should be resting
an
now,
assassination.
recovering from my time away, or sitting with father. Instead, I'm forced to run and hide, sneaking about like a common thief, hunted in my own city.
And I think that soldier can actually turn around, so we want to wait for the next cycle. Wait, does he turn around? I think he turns around. You know what? Let's just go for it. And I think if you fall down on these beams, like if you go into like a ledge grab position, then he'll detect you. And there's Kylina being dragged away to God knows where. You can try to catch up with them, but you will never be able to get inside this door. So we just have to take the long way. And here's a safety save if you need it. And I think these like gigantic saw blades are new, right? I don't think they were in the... Ow! Oh wow, okay. Good thing this is not a pit. Wait, why am I missing the timing? Right, there we go. And I think one of these switches are new. Basically, they replaced the switches in the first game where you have to pull it out. Except this one, you use your own body weight to weigh it down.
Pay attention to what the prince overheard as he drew close to where I was being kept.
I'm going to get some water over here, just because I took some damage.
Is this where I should resume the tale next time?
Many years ago, I journeyed with the Maharaja of India to the island of Time, intending to claim its secrets. What we discovered was its halls deserted, and its guardians turned to sand. Strange tales within its walls which spoke of an empress of time. Of this enigmatic creature, there was no trace. We returned to India with treasure nonetheless. A staff, a dagger, an empty hourglass covered in jewels, and books. Such secrets they contained. For even then I was an older man and knew that my time would soon be at an end. The books showed me that life eternal was not beyond my reach, but it required the essence of the Empress herself. The power of the sand. So I thought. I turned my attention towards other pursuits and left that dream behind. 4 weeks ago, the dagger stirred and showed me things, whispered to me in my sleep. It drew me here, towards Babylon. Alas, the Maharaja did not share my vision, would not grant me leave. So I slew him and claimed his kingdom, his army for my own. Nothing would stand between me and my desire.
Yeah, so the Vizier from the first game is back because we took Kylina away from her own timeline. So we actually never journeyed to Assad because our invasion of India kind of failed, I guess. So that's why the Vizier is still alive, and this time he's in our home turf now. And this is a double assassination. And so we are going to confront him once again.
Recklessly, the prince drew his weapon and charged forward, intending to rescue me. It was as if he had learned nothing from his past adventures. Or perhaps he'd simply forgotten, made blind and deaf by fear and rage. This is how it happened. This is how I died.
No!
What have we here?
The Vizier!
Ah, you must be the Prince of Persia. Come home at last. Too late, I'm afraid. I believe I have something of yours.
No! Kylena!
A promise of power fulfilled! I will be immortal!
Father, forgive what I have done, wherever you are.
Yeah, so we are back with our dagger once again. And what you saw, the Vizier stabbing himself and then mutating himself into some kind of monster, that was his whole plan from the first game all along. That's why he kept asking us for the dagger in the first game. And for the rest of the game, the Dagger of Time is going to be our primary weapon this time. The last time we had it, it was our secondary weapon. This time it's going to be our primary weapon now.
Shall I continue my story from here if you are called away?
And these rolling pins are back once again. I think these ones are kind of a little bit easier to see than the other ones on the Island of Time. Or maybe they're just placed in a better location, as opposed to like placing them right around the corner where the camera angle is gonna change. And I think this game has my favorite navigation of all the Sands of Time games, just because we are like 1 hour into the game and you can see the traversal is already getting quite complicated, as opposed to the other two games where they kind of hold your hand a little bit. this game already assumes you know how everything works. And I think over there, there's a chest over there. Yep, these are the chests. And I think these chests refill your sand tanks in addition to unlocking the artwork back in the main menu.
Once more, the wheels of suffering are set in motion by my hand. In taking Kylina from the island of time, I have changed the course of history. Without the sands of time, I never journeyed to Azad, never killed the Vizier. Now he lives again, driven by the same mad desire. I promised no harm would come to her. I am being pushed deeper into the palace, and further from my enemy. My arm! What's happening? What has the Vizier done to me? I don't...
Everything had come full circle. The prince had resurrected his greatest enemy. Worse, he had accidentally delivered me into the man's hands, unleashing a nightmare plague across Babylon. As if this was not enough, the prince had nearly been transformed by the sands himself. Though he had avoided death, he had not escaped entirely untouched.
Wake up, Prince. Wake up. Wake up. The way behind you is gone, so you will have to find another exit from these sewers. Be quick about it. Start moving.
Alright, so I think this is a pretty good
Who's
place
there?
to stop. Tomorrow, we are going to find out who this mysterious voice in our head is going to be. Whether we are just imagining it or if it's a real entity brought on by the sands of time. So come back tomorrow, and we'll continue our journey.